Good evening, folks. Welcome back to another hobby hangout. How is everybody? How are you doing? I hope you've all got lots planned for this evening. Just something to just sit back, chill, relax, maybe do a bit of painting, bit of hobby, whatever you're up to. Let me know what you're up to tonight. Peter Nicholas was in at 5 o'clock tonight, so just 3.5 hours ago. So he'll be listening as he paints his Space Marines tonight. Tony Howell was in early as well, 5:30. Saying he's just put the first layer of texture on Kevin the Field Mouse's bait, so he's starting on a ratty tonight. Nice one. Scott Longworth was in a bit early as well. Nice to see you in, Scott. I hope your wedding anniversary went well, mate. Peter Koeman flocking lots of bases tonight. Lord Maiden was in as well. Phil Wilkinson. Good evening, Phil. How are you doing? He says he's putting together his Primaris Interceptors tonight. Blizzards says Guten Tag. Guten Tag, Blaze. How are you doing, mate? Mark Wright's in as well. Good evening to you, mate. Busey's in. Nice to see you back, mate. Mike H. Hopes everyone's well. Yoakum says, good evening, folks. He's got hobby hangout, football on TV, and guests to entertain in the garden all at once tonight. I like the hobby hangout that it was first in the list, mate. That's a good choice. Six in the head's in. Hello, how you doing, Palmsy? He says, hola, buenas noches, chicos y chicas. Christian, good evening, mate. How are you doing? Who else we got? Steve Evans. Good evening to you, Steve. Blizzards has seen he's got a gaggle of Poxwalkers to finish off today. Plenty of work going on there. Jonathan Wybone. Good evening to you. He's painting his way through his Conquest backlog. That's a way to do it, mate. Get through some of that stuff. David Moffat. Good evening, BlackJack Arena, as he says. Good evening, mate. He's rebuilding a combat patrol-sized batch of Crimson Slaughter eBay rescues. We got a lot of 40k on the go tonight, folks. Simon Dave, good evening, Simon Dave. How are you doing? Nice to see you in the chat again, mate. Jacob says, Andy, I love that you're always on time. What else can I do, mate? If you folks are going to turn up, I'll always be starting on time, mate. Tim Kelly, good evening, mate. He's got burrs and badges on the desk and possibly a bit of Death Guard if he gets time. Peter says, hey, you don't touch me there. That's my no-no square. I'm not even going to go there, mate. Palmsy said he was standing outside and genuinely thought the bell was coming from the village church. That was the cowboy music, mate. David Delaney, good evening, mate. He's painting up some grey nights for 9th, a bit more 40k there, mate. Bobby Clark, good evening, mate. Said he's had a 12-hour marathon hobby session building tanks. That'll get you in the mood, mate. Parseval, good evening. Working on odds and ends tonight. That's the way, mate, just bits and pieces. Arnold, good evening. He's watching via the phone, in bed. Sorry if I start snoring. I'll give you a little nudge, mate, if you're making too much noise. Mark Wright's doing a bit of Wild West Exodus Deadly 7. Well, I'm doing a bit of Wild West Exodus Wayward 8. So you're in good company, mate. Mike said he's still at work, helps push the day through. Nice one. Palmsy's doing a bit of Dreadball and a bit of Lurkin. Mr. Trainer Guy says, sweet. Love the style of their minis and, of course, the theme. I'm doing up the Titanforge Behemoth of Decay mini practicing on my wet blending, glazes and rust effect. Nice one. Simon Dave's chipping away at the Imperial Fists. Jacob's come across a cheap box of Rune Wars miniatures. Yeah, they're not bad miniatures then, mate. I mean, obviously the game's not been supported for quite some time, but you can only pick up the minis quite cheap. Tony saying, evening, my lovelies. Stotty's man keeps in as well. He says, I'm here, I think, physically if not mentally. And James Brace says, good evening. Good evening, James. How are you doing, mate? We've got a new member as well, Phil Wilkinson. Thank you very much for joining the YouTube members. It should come up. There it is. Come up on the screen. Thank you very much, buddy. Jacob's going to hobby on nose tonight. Lord Maiden's got a bit of burrs and badges. James is playing his BlackJack Marine. I think I saw something briefly. I've been really busy the last couple of days, so I've been a bit quiet in the Discord the last couple of days. But I'll catch up with you all tomorrow. And I think I saw something about that. Derek's painting his Zealots for Mortal Gods. Peter's doing his painting his Primaris bikes. Bring on the hate. Nice one. Kodos is in as well. Good evening, Kodos Dehenka. How are you doing? So tonight, folks, yes, we've got a bit of Wild West Exodus. To be honest, I was going to do some painting tonight, but I've got a bit of a backlog of stuff to build. I went from having nothing to build to everything kind of arriving at once. So I thought I'd crack on and do a little bit of this tonight. So for those that don't know, Wild West Exodus, we've done a few videos about this recently, and these are the 8 characters that you get in here. So we get Marcus Wayward, Hicks Kincaid, Sierra Icarus, Flowing River, Sun Totem, Carefree, Zerelda Kincaid, and Jake Mattia. And you might be able to kind of reference a little bit of similarities or a bit of inspiration from the cast from Firefly as well, which is one of the reasons I thought I'd get this one as well. So, for those that haven't seen the Wild West Exodus minis, they do come in these rather snazzy boxes, which are completely over-engineered, like cost-wise, but they do look nice. So, what do we get in the box? Let me just create a bit of space here. We obviously get, this one is plastic sprue for this one. So all 8 miniatures on this sprue. You get the bases, you get the cards. However, these cards are out of date now. These are version 1. I think we're up to version 1.09 now. So download the cards online. And you also get a little kind of, let's just get that out, a little kind of leaflet thing. It tells you a little bit about the game. However, this is really good for getting the assembly guides, because what you can do with your phone is, if I can just show you, if you can go to your camera, just click on there and you'll just see it comes up on the top of the screen. Click on that and that will download, eventually will download all the assembly guides for you. So I thought that's quite funky. So what I did was, just so I printed them off, just so I've got them in front of me while we're talking, and then I'm not keep looking at screens and stuff like that. So we might as well crack on with that then, folks. To get these few bits and pieces out of the way. Let's see where we're up to. David Moffat says he likes the Rune Wars. The elves are interesting. Riding great cats and war moose into battle is pretty cool. And the Tree Maiden look terrific. Mark's bought the Wayward 8 set as well. Nice one, mate. Let me just zoom this camera in a touch so we can get a little bit closer. Let me know if that's okay on the screen as well. John Estel, he says, evening all, I'm just chilling tonight. Psyched to watch Andy build though. Yeah, you know this is not the bit I enjoy very much, so I thought I'd kind of break the back of it and get it done. So, you'll be able to see on these assembly guides, all of the miniatures are broken down into parts. So all of the Marcus Wayward character has all of the ears. However, the only thing I would say is that actually when you get to here, you should be able to see on here. Let me get a bit closer. You'll be able to see there in the corners they have like letters and numbers. However, it's not like this is all of the A's, this is all of the B's or anything like that. They're scattered around all over. So there is I do have to have a little look around on these here to get the bits I need. Arnold says, by the way, still waiting on the Dead Crew I bought. Should I worry? No, mate, I think he said on Monday night, he was in the chat on Monday night, I think he's just basically backed up with a few orders. Drop him a note and he said he's getting to them as quickly as he can, so just by all means drop him an email, but he did say he was doing some packing on Monday night actually. Bizarre says he picked up the 8 recently too. Love Firefly. Inspiration is a wonderful euphemism. Yeah. David says, I feel you on the backlog of building. I had 2 boxes of Seraphon and the Indomitors box all come at the same time. I just finished my Skinks last night too. Yeah, I've got a few things I need to kind of get painted up and stuff like that, but they're all, it needs a bit of building and stuff as well. So we'll crack on anyway, and we'll start clipping some of these bits out. So folks, how's everybody doing? I saw a couple of videos today. One was a quick one about the new GW loot crate stuff, which, as you know, is that, let me know in the chat, folks. Is this screen here that you can see, this top down camera, is it bright enough? Because I always think that it looks really dark on my screens, because I can always adjust it a little bit. Let me I'll try to turn the brightness up a touch. Let me know if that's a little bit better. I can turn the brightness up on that one. Barry saying screen went to black. Yeah. That might just me just doing that. That's maybe all it was, mate. That's a bit better, mate. Thank you, Peter. Jonathan saying, are they plastic rather than resin? Yeah, some of these older ones, mate, are plastics. However, I do have this set here as well, which we'll have a look at later on, and this one's resin. So if I get through these ones, we'll get that one open as well. So yeah, it's a bit easier to see. Nice one, yeah, cool. I just kind of opened up the iris on the camera just to get a bit more light in. Cool. So yeah, so there was the what's it called again? What was I just talking about? Yeah, the loot crate stuff from GW. And I also just watched a video about Warlord resin, which was something I've not heard of before. Am I just behind the times, folk? Is that something that's been widely known about for a while? They've made a little video tonight, which is about how different their new resin product is. It's not like normal resin. It's kind of super bendy. I think they were saying all of the Judge Dredd stuff is all made from that as well. So, you know what it is? This is harder than painting on stream. I'm having to really kind of concentrate and look for the pieces that I need. Ortega says, can't stay tonight, but look forward to the rerun. Nice to see you, mate. Thank you very much for popping in. Peter Koeman there saying, loot crate, what's that? What's going on with the loot crate? So today, GW announced they were doing these. They're kind of a loot crate, but essentially for £75, you get £150 worth of Games Workshop miniatures. They're doing it by a theme, so it's not random as such. Everybody will get the same box. However, you don't know what you're getting, so it's kind of like a random box to you. It's like a blind box kind of thing. You don't know what you're going to get, but they'll all be based upon the theme, which on the face of it sounds like a decent deal, kind of like half price off. However, if you don't know what you're going to get, you might just get like sort of 2 or 3 miniatures from loads of different like factions. They might be not really any use to, unless you're a bit of a kind of like a kid basher or something like that. So and it's not. I'm not going to kind of bash GW for it. They can do what they want. Mantic do it every year as well with their crazy boxes and stuff like that. So it's not like kind of GW are alone in this. I just I found it strange that it was so popular, because instantly the Imperium one sold out, and there is also a Warhammer Underworlds one, which is £65, I think it is, for double, like, so at 50% discount. So you're getting £130 worth of miniatures in there at current prices. It feels like it's an excuse to kind of sell off a load of stuff that they're trying to get rid of, or high stocks of models that don't sell very well. Maybe things like old Necron Warriors or something like that, trying to clear space. But yeah, I just thought it was a bit of a strange one, really. Everybody seems to be happy with it. Everybody who kind of went straight in. A few folks in there. I can get behind that. I love minis for other games, and I could use more parts for kit bashing. It's £75 worth of stuff for kit bashing, though, isn't it? Like, I find that quite expensive, but hey, each to their own. That's why I mean it's not something for me personally, but if folks think it's worth it to them, then all power to them, really. I never buy into the Mantic ones either. I always just find that I'd end up with a load of stuff. I've already got a load of stuff that I've not done anything with. I don't need lots of stuff I don't do anything with. So Simon Davis saying, I'll skip the loot crate stuff. I have too many minis sat on my shelf already. Yeah, that's kind of me as well, mate, to be fair. That's kind of exactly where I am as well. Let me get that one off there. I'm going to start cleaning these up. Kudos is saying the Mantic boxes are 30 to 40, something you might risk for some bits for conversion, but 100 is too much. Yeah, I agree, mate. It would have been like, so if there were 50 quid and you got £100 worth of stuff, then I can see them being like kind of worth a punt type thing. But to me, it feels like a way to get rid of a load of stuff that's not really selling. And the fact that it's not going through retail, you have to buy them at through GW Direct. Essentially, the discount they're giving to you is essentially the discount they normally give to their retailers. So it's not exactly they're not losing out massively, are they? David saying, yeah, a bit steep. Arnold saying the 40k was already sold out. Only the Underworld one was available. Apparently the website crashed again when they went on sale. It just goes to show that there is a lot of people who will genuinely just buy anything. So the 40k one, which was called like Imperium, was essentially the theme. So it's not going to be Necrons, is it, in that case? But it's certainly I can't imagine. I mean, there's loads of rumours online now people saying, oh, they're going to start getting rid of all the kind of normal scale Marines and getting ready for the new book coming out, and they're not going to be in there or something stupid like that. But yeah, I think it's just people liking to have a bit of a what's the word I'm looking for? Just scaremongering, really, just putting the fear into people. David said, I'd be sure down if there were GW store exclusives in there, but I doubt it. Yeah, so essentially that they're not random, as in every region will get exactly the same. So if you buy 2, you just end up with 2 lots of it. It's not a case of like you're getting different stuff in them. So it's just a blind purchase as opposed to kind of like a random loot crate. But yeah, when it's, and the problem is they sold out so fast. It's not even like you can kind of wait and see what's in them when somebody reviews them either. So you don't even get a chance to do that. So anyway, I'm sure there's plenty of stuff that you want to buy already anyway. Kudos is saying, is it models only or books a thing as well? It's just models, mate, as far as I'm aware. Bobby saying, I found the Warlord SPQR models made with a bendy resin, a ball lake to remove mold lines. Yeah, they were saying that they were made out of them as well, mate. Essentially, what they were saying was basically you haven't got to use files; you just have to use a sharp knife. If you use a file, it'll end up kind of like either chewing it up or leaving like a bit of a scuff on it, really. But I mean, from a point of view, is that they seemed quite sort of flexible and stuff. I tell you what, let me just scroll in at this, getting a little bit closer here as well. Otherwise, you're just going to be watching a big black screen, I think. They looked pretty flexible and stuff, especially for things like spears and stuff. But they were also saying, which I was quite surprised at, that you don't need to undercoat them either. You can just paint straight onto the resin. It says you can prime them if you want to, but they don't need to be primed, which I've never seen anything like that before. I've heard people saying they don't prime certain models, but yeah, I've always primed stuff. Good evening, Super Pumpkin Man. How are you doing, mate? David saying, since he's in Canada, he didn't have to entertain any sort of thing. Yeah, they weren't available in the US and they weren't available in Canada. So I'm assuming it was pretty much just kind of Europe and stuff. Peter says, I bought all the normal Marines I still wanted. Didn't feel like stressing about it if I can still get them later on. Yeah, I can't see them writing them off anytime soon, mate. The only reason they would write them off is if nobody buys them anymore. James saying he's a sucker for random minis. I'd probably sign up for a monthly random GW model subscription. If you want me, I'll organise a monthly supply to you. Just pay me and I'll send you a load of random stuff. David says, wire brushes are good for cleaning off flexible plastic. Yeah, I think in this case, mate, a wire brush would absolutely ruin it. It's a resin, and basically it says to use, or they were saying, to just use a sharp knife. Because if you use even a file, I think was a bit too abrasive. So yeah, that's what I thought was a bit strange. Let's just get that. Yeah, nice fit on there. Scott says, God, Abaddon black paint is crap. I've always struggled with it, mate. Every time I get a pot of it, it seems to go off. I'm not a huge fan of it either. Oops, helps if you put it on the right way, Burtis. That's it. Just hold that in place. Super Punk Man's doing good. Nice one. Scott's saying, any old Necrons for sale? Nah, the stuff I've got, mate, it's already been painted and stuff. It's just old stuff, mate. It's been lying around for ages. Super Punk Man says, are we talking about the GW Finecast models? No, mate, this is so Warlord Games are saying that they've got some kind of new resin, which it appears that they've been producing it for a while, but they released a video about it tonight, just saying that it's sort of super flexible and stuff and really high quality, and they're going to start, I think it's the new, it's not Cruel Seas, but whatever the new ship game thing's called, the new World War II ship game. They make that out of it. They make the Judge Dredd stuff out of it. The SPQR resin is made from the same thing. And apparently they're going to start kind of doing more of the metal stuff in that as well. Jim Street, howdy fellas and ladies. Good evening, Jim. How are you doing, mate? Nice to see you in the chat. Probably saying evening all, shite signal, but I'm here. Evening, mate. Nice to see your face there. Simon Day says the other side minis were made of a really bendy plastic too, I think. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people use kind of like sort of cheaper, like these are like hard plastic stuff, and this is what you come from injection molding. But I think some plastic is almost it's almost like spun a little bit like resin or metal, and basically this Warlord stuff is resin. It's not plastic. Victory at Sea, Barry Kleiber, that's the one. Scott, thank you very much as well. Yeah. Good evening, Tony Boothline. How are you doing, sir? Nice to see you in. Barry saying he's got some of the Judge Dredd. Yeah. What do you think of them, mate? Is it? Oh, you were saying it's a bit of a nightmare to clean the mold lines up, didn't you? Oh, let me just clean that up a little bit. I know some folks are really into that kit bashing and stuff like that, but I must admit, kit bashing doesn't interest me. I love nothing better than just being able to, when these fit in only one way, I'm quite happy with that. With the little sockets in, so they always go correctly. I'm happy with that. Jim says he's pretty good. Finished up his last Dread Ball team for the hobby contest. Which Dread Ball team are you painting, mate? Is this the one that Kieran's running? David Delaney says, fashionably late, I see. Yes, he arrives precisely when he means to. Oh, I forgot to cut one of the pieces out. Right, how does this one fit? That tucks into there. Always dry fit. Always dry fit. Barry's saying they seem okay as far as durability, but the figures are rather flattish. I think that like the flatness side of it comes from like a lot of old figures used to be quite flat because they were basically like that's the way the cast. It's the way they have to. It's the way they have to lie in the molds. Something tells me they've got a new material, but they're not doing anything different with the casting. Just like GW did years ago when they went to fine cast, basically they were just using a different material in the metal molds. So. Jim saying, Mechanites. Yeah, nice, mate. Krabby says he's just painted his Necrons, 15 warriors left to do, and then Basin when he's home. You're smashing through them, mate. Absolutely smashing through them. I would love to get started on mine, but I've got far too much work stuff to do. So yeah, I think as I said on Monday night, if anybody was in the stream, all of the kind of the background work I've been doing, speaking to companies to get stuff sent out, is all kind of coming to fruition now. The problem is it's all arrived at the same time. So I've got like about 5 things that have all arrived within a week. So if this is one of them as well, War Cradle sent me this kit. So I'm just gradually working my way through some of that stuff now to make more videos for you folks. I've been building some of the War Cradle terrain. Oops, let me get that back on camera. I've been building some of the War Cradle terrain. The scenic sort of buildings, the MDF stuff, and I've been filming some of that today to do the kind of like the final video for that. So that should be coming very soon. So yeah, get back on the video trail, get stuff done. So yeah, unfortunately, my 40k stuff, which is really kind of like for my own hobby, really, as opposed to like channel stuff, it's all built, ready to go, but it's having to take a little bit of a back seat at the minute until I can get sorted with some of the backlog of stuff. So I think I'll be working this weekend trying to catch up. Let me just put a little bit on here as well. Simon Parfit, good evening all, he says. Nice to see you, mate. A little late at the party. He's been at Western Supermare P with the kids where the hand gel smells of tequila. Or does tequila smell of hand sanitizer? Is that the problem? Tony says, not bad considering, buddy. Still got a few of these Wild West X minis. Might get on with a bits of glue to do. Yeah, like I say, mate, I had some... I've got to get these built as well so I can start start getting them painted and start getting them onto the channel and stuff like that as well. So making progress on these tonight. David Moffat, oh sorry, Super Pumpkin Man says we use a spin casting from Make Pewter Minis at work. If you can get a really detailed base forms to cast the mold, then the product is really high quality. They were talking about in this Warlord video basically that normal resin, were they saying normal resin or were they saying plastic or something? I think they were trying to say plastic injection molding struggles with like undercuts, and they were saying that basically their new resin stuff is fantastic. So I don't know how much of it's just kind of marketing buffoonery, but yeah, I'd like to get my hands on some and just see what it's about, see why it's so special. All right, just get that bit lined up in there. Model 1 done. I have to say, like, I mean, these War Cradle ones, they fit together really nicely, and the quality, the detail on them is really nice. Let me just, you can kind of see it there. There's loads of detail on these things. So I'll not stick it to the base just yet. We'll put it over there to dry, and then we'll start with the next one. David says, I kit bash out of necessity for the most part. Too many sad eBay rescues. Yeah, and if you enjoy it, mate, then that's pretty cool as well. It's not really my bag, to be fair. Jacob says, is the warp fire crate what everyone was talking about earlier? No, mate, this was GW doing some kind of like loot crate type thing. It wasn't technically a loot crate, but it was certainly that kind of blind purchase type thing. But all of the Imperium ones that they were doing sold out pretty much as quickly as they went on sale. Some folks just can't get enough GW stuff. I honestly feel at the minute that they can do no wrong from a sort of a sales point of view. Even when people are complaining, they're complaining because they can't get their hands on stuff, not because they don't like the stuff. I did hear that the Blood Bowl community weren't overly impressed with the new rules coming, but I'm not a member in the Blood Bowl groups, so I don't really know any of that stuff. Samuel Davis says, are you planning on doing any battle reports for Wild West Exodus? I'll certainly be doing some kind of like how to play stuff, mate, some intro videos, like beginner stuff. The problem with battle reports is that you need like a variety of different factions and stuff like that, and because I do this on my own, like, and I don't just concentrate on one game, it takes a lot of prep to get to battle reports. So I'm not sure kind of how many battle reports I'll be doing on the channel in general. I've not done loads in the past either, so it's not like it's not like I've kind of stopped doing them. And also you also have to kind of rely on getting people to play as well, and to be fair, it's not even just getting people to play. It's getting the right people to play as well. Like it's folks want it to be entertaining, don't they? So we'll see though. We'll see. But I've got a backlog of stuff to do anyway. So, but some Wild West Exodus videos is on that list of stuff to do. So I'm just using my old eyes now, looking for the bits that I need. That's B6 there. As I mentioned before, folks, like these are all like lettered and numbered, but unfortunately they don't. They're not in any particular order. Is that B1? Oh, just could be one off there. What am I missing? So it's B6, B1, B5, B2. I need B3 and B4. Okay, there's B3. Barry says, fine Castellar, some pretty dynamic poses. It's just really hard to work and prone easily to breaking. I think so now GW don't use Finecast. It's a completely different material now. So when people kind of complain about Finecast now, they're either getting really old models or they just don't realise that it's changed. So you don't get Finecast anymore now. but he got such a bad reputation at the time that it's a bit of a hangover, really, isn't it? That basically everybody's kind of frightened of GW resin stuff now. And Forge World resin doesn't have the best of names either. Oops, just pulled some head off there. I'll put that on one side. Scott's saying, yeah, your mini swap model. I tell you what, mate, you'll be waiting a long time for that. I ain't got time for anything that's not that's personal stuff at the minute. So, and to be fair, I only came into the hobby thing to make the numbers up. Right? I wasn't going to take part. I only did it to make the numbers up. So I'll get there at some point, mate. But it won't be quick. So don't hold your breath. Super Pumpkin Man says I kit bashed a huge scorpion to be my war sphinx for Warhammer Fantasy Tomb Kings. Nice, mate. George is saying, evening all, watching from the shed, so dodgy internet and painting more Mantic terrain crate. I saw the Mantic, somebody's posted a picture of the Mantic, I think it's called the, is it the, not like a railway thing, but it's like the mine, sorry, that's what I was trying to think of, like a gold mine type thing with railway tracks and carts and stuff. I was thinking that would look really really good actually on a Wild West Exodus board. So I might pick some of that up at some point. Let me go back over a little bit. Tony saying, make sure you claim overtime. I'll tell you what, mate, if anybody's paying me overtime, it'll be you lot. That's the only way that works. Good evening to anybody that's just joined the chat as well. We've got 72 people in the chat tonight, which is nice for a hobby night. There's always a bit of a mix of stuff in the hobby nights, so it's good to see some people in for a bit of a natter, bit of a chat. Yeah, so when I'm doing these kind of like these hobby hangouts on here, I tend to try and do stuff that's that I need to do anyway. So when I've been painting things like the Pirates of the Dread Seas, when I've been painting up some what was I painting last week? Some other bits and pieces. I can't remember what I was painting last week now. Whenever I paint any of them bits and pieces, it's because I'm getting them ready for videos really. So it's like if I'm going to sit and paint, I might as well kind of sit and hang out with you lot. But at the minute, it's I need to make videos, which is obviously what I'm doing during the day. But for the hobby stuff tonight, I need to get some stuff built. So that's why we're having a building night tonight. Kudos says, which Wild West Exodus sets would you suggest to start? To be honest, I mean, there is a 2-player set called Gunfight at Red Oak, but it's actually quite hard to get your hands on it at the moment. I don't think War Cradle are kind of like making any more of it, even though it's still relevant. I've got a feeling there must be like a different 2-player, a different starter set coming, or basically you can just buy any of the kits really. So like the ones I'm using here tonight, what you get is basically these like Wayward 8 ones, where if it says Posse set, that's basically a good little, it's like a single player intro box. You can get the ones that have the gubbins in them as well, which is basically like the dice and the cards that you, the dice and the deck of cards that you need to play as well. So essentially, mate, just choose the ones you like the look of. That's the best way to do it. Peter saying kit bashing is almost a must when you do Marines. I did my Dark Angels with a mix of kits. I don't think it's a must, mate. I do Marines and I don't do any kit bashing. I like them just as they are, mate. And to be honest, I'm loving the new Indomitor stuff because I don't have to worry about it. It just goes together one way, and I know that the poses are going to be nice and dynamic. There's some options, so I can change bits of weapons and stuff like that. But yeah, it's not a part of the hobby that I enjoy. I appreciate other people do, but it's not part of the hobby that I enjoy myself. Stan Richardson, good evening, mate. How are you doing? Thank you very much for your message today, Stan, as well. We will definitely get a game sorted soon. Once I can squeeze some time to get one in. I'm a bit snowed under at the minute when everything's come at once. I think I said a long time ago, as I kind of I was always planning to start doing this full time from September. So all of the planning work was kind of gearing up for September really, and when the redundancy thing came through, it meant I had to kind of gear up faster. And then obviously things like Gen Con didn't happen and stuff. So I had to kind of gear up faster to get some kind of work lined up, or some bits and pieces that I wanted to cover lined up, which is starting to come to fruition now. But unfortunately, it's all kind of come at once. So some of the companies I'd been speaking to, I've been speaking to them for a while, and it's took a little while to get stuff out to me. Like I've got a game that's come from Australia that's took like over a month to arrive. So it's just stuff like that. It's all, like I say, it's all kind of come at once. But I'll get there, folks. So and we'll get that content back on the content wagon. More stuff for you lot to watch. And more stuff for you Patreons as well. Superpunk Man says, me and his friends tried to make a battle report, but it never worked out. It's really hard, mate, to be honest. It takes a lot of, you need a lot of space, you need a lot of time, it takes a long time to edit it. You need multiple cameras, or you need to be constantly moving cameras about, otherwise it becomes quite stale. It looks a little bit like stilted. And the problem is that actually for the amount of time that they take to film, you tend not to get a whole host of views for them as well. So it's like it all depends on where your effort's best spent. That tends to be the one of the issues with battle reports. Unless you're a battle report channel, like people like sort of what they call tabletop tactics and stuff like that. That's what they do, but there's a team of them doing that. Dead Earth Games, good evening, mate. How are you doing? Nice to see you in. How's Tricks? How's your Kickstarter going? Get this one now. David Delaney says, could be fun to do an Indomitus battle report when you finish with them. Yeah, I do plan to do something like that, like basically like 500 point game aimed at beginners, like almost like an intro type thing. And so I do plan to do something like that. But yeah, at the minute, because it's more hobby for myself as opposed to stuff for the channel, it's kind of down the list of things that I have to get done. I've got stuff to do for Dead Earth Games there. I've got to finish off the video for that. I've got Bot Wars, I've got War Cradle stuff, I've got stuff from Steamforged, I've got the terrain from Battle Systems. There's a whole host of things, mate, that's on the to-do pile. So, and at the minute, my kids are over at the minute, so I've been sorting them out, trying to catching up on some schoolwork before they go back in September for their A levels. Trying to sort of sit down with them and work through that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's been a bit hectic, mate. I've had a few home things to sort out as well, real world stuff to sort out, not just miniature toy stuff. David Mother says, battle reports are a bit of work, but they're pretty fun to do. One of the problems, David, is that I don't watch battle reports. I don't find them particularly interesting. So that's why I kind of that's why I don't tend to film a lot of them myself, because it's not really my area of interest myself. But some games just work better with doing a battle report to kind of explain how they work and things. Where are we up to? Peter Cummins says, the Finecast debacle was real. I have a bunch of Finecasts and almost everyone has problems. I'm not denying that it was real, mate. It was definitely an absolute nightmare. Where are we up to? Yeah, I'm not denying that it was an absolute nightmare, mate. But I think the problem was that actually they solved the problem, but then by then it was too late. By then, everybody had already kind of sort of decided that it was evil. And even now, stuff that's not Finecast still gets kind of sort of flagged as Finecast, even though it's not. But yeah, that was their own fault. They obviously didn't do enough kind of testing and stuff before they put it out there. before it was ready to kind of release, if you like. Where are we up to? People having a bit of chat. Christian sharing a link for the Patreon there. Thank you very much. He says, allow Andy to buy more miniatures for your viewing pleasure. Yes, I don't get everything sent. Some stuff I buy myself. John saying, rather than battle reports, I'd watch beginners playthroughs, a full game, but explain for a newbie. That's kind of where I'll be pitching stuff. So anything I do will be almost like a kind of like explaining the thought process, explaining rules, that kind of stuff. It won't be just sort of straight battle reports. I think I get more enjoyment from trying to teach stuff or explain stuff than I do from just, because the problem is if I'm playing a game, I kind of just want to play. I don't want to be worrying about switching between cameras and making sure everything's in shot and all that kind of stuff. It actually kind of spoils the game itself when you're trying to do that kind of stuff. If I'm playing a game, I kind of just want to play. So, well, folks, you get two head choices on this one. You get, let me put them there. You get the one with the bobble hat, or the one with the cigar, just like with the hair. I think we're gonna just go with the one with the hair. I don't think I want to be painting bobble hats. I think I quite like the one with the hair on that one. So we'll get that one in. Right, we'll clean these ones up, and then we'll crack on with them. Stan Richardson says Kickstarter for battle reports. A Kickstarter. Do you know? Right. Okay. So another reason why battle reports are also very difficult is I'm fixed with how much space I've got. So you might have seen the video when I kind of did a little bit of a tour around here, and you might think, oh, he's dead. Look, he's got all this space. And to be honest, I mean, I am kind of like blessed. I've got a spare room at home where I can work from and do all of this stuff. The problem is that because I do a lot of live stream stuff, it's kind of set up for live streaming with like screens on here and everything kind of set that way. If I start doing battle reports, it means I've got to keep like switching the room around and moving my monitors. And what I'd actually like to do at some point in the future, like if this channel ever gets to a point where I kind of outgrow my space, like from a kind of like an income point of view as well. If I'm making enough money, I can actually sort of like rent a space or something like that. Then I think I'd start to kind of maybe look at battle reports if I had more space, so I could have a dedicated sort of filming area. But yeah, in order to, I don't want to do like a bit of a half-assed job of it. That's the problem. I want to do it properly, and that's the reason why because like I say, they take a lot of time. They can take a day to film, they can take another day to edit, and that's 2 days when I could have been doing 2 videos if you like. And there's no way that a battle report generally for any games other than 40k really kind of justify the time they take to the views if you like. So that's what it's one of them things. You have to look at it like as a business, which essentially it is for me. I have to kind of look at it as a business. Nobody's really kind of screaming out for battle reports, and there's plenty of other channels already doing them. So unless I can do something really different and do a really good job of them, I'm better off waiting until that's kind of like the next step for me, if you like. A lot of the stuff I do is much more kind of beginner entry points. You're not going to learn any kind of tactics from me, put it that way. But as John said before, I think kind of doing beginner entry videos, how to play type things, explaining sort of choices, explaining the rules through gameplay, that's probably more my kind of thing. Where are we up to? George saying, yep, the mine was made. Is that who? Was it yours, George? That's it, mate. It looked fantastic, mate. I was quite impressed with that. John saying it would help decide on other games. Yeah, that's kind of where I want to get to, mate. And that's why at the minute there's been a bit of a lull in videos and stuff, because I'm at a point now where I'm doing a lot of stuff in the background, building stuff, painting stuff, getting terrain kind of done. And that, unfortunately, it's not very sexy, but it all takes time. So that's why it's a mix of stuff, really. It's not like I'm kind of sitting here doing nothing during the daytime. I'm just going through that kind of period of prep work, really. And like I say, it was always in the plan, but it happened faster. So I'm playing catch up a little bit now. Peter says, Andy, if you want, TT Combat makes great saloon furniture set. I don't think I'll put anything inside the buildings, mate, to be fair. Because I'll in fact, I don't think I will show you the stuff tonight, but because I've been filming it on a video today, so hopefully my plan's to try and get that video done this week. So yeah, I'd be playing around the buildings. If you do play inside the buildings, it'll just be a case of putting the miniatures in there, because that kind of stuff gets lost on camera, really. Lord Maiden says, wait, we're your boss. We need to have a word. In that case, mate, I want a pay rise. Kieran's in as well. It says, evening, all you funky people. We're taking bets on how long Andy takes to slice himself. I am safe as houses, mate. I won't be cutting myself tonight. Don't you worry about that. Far too long in the tooth to be cutting my fingers off. Where are we up to with that bit? That's nice and clean. We get that one on. Let me scroll down the chat a little bit, see where we're up to. David Deney says, don't forget to like and sub or else. Yes, we've got 67 people in. We've only got 40 likes. I would love a few more likes. That would be nice. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, folks, please do consider subscribing. And click the bell notification so that you get reminded when I do these live streams. As you know, or you may not know, I live stream every Monday and every Wednesday evening. And then there's additional videos on top of that as well. So please do. Dave says, some of those Finecast minis were terrible. I still have nightmares of building the Thunderfire cannons. There was loads of blowholes and stuff in them. They were pretty bad, to be fair. I know why people were kind of upset by them. But it sounds like, from what I'm told, I mean, I had some stuff which was my Beastclaw Raiders, whatever it is. Some of those were resin, and actually they were absolutely fine. I had no problems with them at all. So I guess it's just hit and miss with them. James saying, what colour should the Aquila be on the chest of my BlackJack Marine? He's black with red shoulders. Black with red shoulders. I'd be tempted to maybe go silver, mate. Maybe go silver. Or you could go red, to be fair. If it's black with red shoulders, you could go with a red as well. The contrast against the black. That would look cool as well. Everyone chatting there. Good evening, Dirk. How are you doing, mate? How's things? Nice to see you in the chat again tonight. Just got to try and fit these bits together. A bit fiddly. How is that bit going into there? Oh, that's why. Just the wrong angle. That's all it was. Fiddly bits. I feel like I should have stuck these. Is that the right? Is the right? Oh, hang on. I just got to stick into that one first. That's why. Mr. Trainer Guy chatting to James there as well. Scott says Ducari are great for kit bashing. Yeah, they're lovely models, mate. To be fair as well. I'm not a big fan of the entire range of them. That's what's kind of put me off in the past. Right, how on earth that goes there? Oh, okay, I see how it goes now. That slides into that. It's quite clever. You get a nice tight fit with that kind of stuff. I tell you what, folks, like kind of these days with the sort of like 3D sculpting and stuff, some of the fits on things is really, really nice because it's all done by computer. So like the tolerances are so good now, and especially with like plastics and stuff, like a lot of metal things, sometimes you get a bit of shrinkage when you're putting them on. Sorry, when you're casting them, sometimes if it's not done right, but it seems like obviously like 3D sculpting and stuff seems to have solved quite a lot of those issues. Right, I'm just going to try and put that on. That's it. Where are we up to there? Jason said I used to do a lot of kit bashing when I played Warhammer Fantasy Battle. Was that through necessity, mate? Like, was there a lack of ranges, or was it just to kind of make things a bit different, or is there a reason for that? Tony says, is it a good idea to get extra card set for Wild West Exodus if you only have the Red Oak set? If you're playing 2 players, mate, with that starter set, you can just split the card set between you, to be fair. You've only got like 4 or 5 models each anyway. You can just split that set between you. But if you're going to play against like a mate or something like that, then you're better off having two sets, and if they buy one as well, because there's only one of the 5 action cards in the deck. So you want to know there's one in your deck. I mean, it adds a little bit of fun to the game, because you don't know whether you've got it or your opponent's got it. So it does add a little twist. But yeah, if you're playing kind of more seriously, if you're gonna buy all of the different, like the hands and the extra bits and pieces, I would recommend a second deck of cards, the Gubbins bits and pieces set, whatever it's called. This one. Which one? That one. Get these the right way around, folks. Get that out of there. Let's get that in first. Jason says, think you'll travel to Gen Con next year if the Rona's gone? Probably not Gen Con, mate. It's much more board game focused. But my plan is to go to Adepticon, mate, if travel's back on the cards. I'll definitely be at Adepticon. It's kind of one of those places that's on my bucket list. Gen Con, I think, is just it's just too big, mate, for what I need, and there's a lot less miniature game and stuff these days. It's a lot more board game focused. It's where Adepticon is kind of where it's at for me, I think. Much more the stuff I'm interested in, and also gives me a chance to meet the companies and stuff, because obviously it'll be a business trip this time, which will be nice. Peter says, Andy, of course, no problems with your Marines. They're Smurfs. It's the specific chapters like Space Wolves that make heavy use of kit bashing, depending on the units you want. Yeah, I get that, mate. I get that. It's probably one of the reasons why I was quite. I mean, I do like the colours of the Ultramarines, which is why I did it. But it's probably one of the reasons. Deep down as well, it's probably a reason why is because I didn't have to worry about all the kit bashing stuff. It's definitely not really my kind of style. So there's another one done, folks. This one is Jake Mattia, or Mattia, however you pronounce it. Very nice. Let's see what we're doing next. We're going to do Sierra Icarus. So that's all the C's. Lord Maiden is saying, I think the card set is the same throughout. The card set. Oh, if we're talking about getting a set, it's not the same throughout, mate. There's different numbers of the different cards. To be fair, Lord Maiden says Red Rose Wargaming. Right, what was that for, mate? I'm not sure why you. What was that in relation to? I say I'm forgetting Red Rose Wargaming do battle videos. You could play with them. They're nowhere near me, mate. They're nowhere near me. They're miles away, so it's not like they're close. So it's not that easy to just to do that. So let's get these letter C ones. Yeah, Tony saying, I thought with only one deck included, an extra for the other player might help. Yeah, I think it does, mate. If you're going to take it a bit more seriously, mate, then I would definitely recommend picking up a second deck. But if it's just for the odd game for a bit of fun, I would just kind of split it between the two of you. I think that would be my recommendation. It's certainly what I plan to do at some point. I've only got the one deck so far. Mr. Trainer Guy says, are they're plastic or resin plastic mix like what Mantic does for some of their minis? If you talk about these, mate, these are just hard plastic. They're really nice quality, these. Dead of the Game says, cracking, mate, Kickstarter all funded. Looking to hit some stretch goals for a Gorgon. Nice, mate. Congrats on the Kickstarter. Krabby says, I love a kit bash, but the Indomitors models are great. Only one I'm changing is the Judica. I like that, or a Judicia it might be. I really like that model, mate. It's really nice. This is the body for this one. So get rid of a bit of scrap there. Simon says, I'm a visual learner, so the watch it played and battle reports are a great help when I'm getting into a game. Yeah, I'm a visual learner as well, mate. I'm not much cop with trying to read the rules. I need to kind of be able to kind of see it, to understand it. So that's why I'll do the kind of the playthrough type stuff, but like just like proper battle reports and stuff like that. More like for like tactics or even like sort of thematic stuff. Because the problem is to get somebody to do it, like to do a proper battle report that looks really good, you need one of two things. You either need like lots of people to help with cameras and actually and the best way to do it is just to let the two people play the game and focus like let all the focus of the filming to somebody else. Or you do it a bit like how Beasts of War do it, and you have multiple cameras set up and you keep switching between the camera angles, which is the way I normally do it. But for me, it kind of takes something away because you're never concentrating on the game. So what happens is you make mistakes. People will pull you up in the chat in the comments about it and stuff like that. Because some people are only watching battle reports to get like some kind of like tactical kind of sort of tips and stuff. How not how to play the game. They're looking to improve how they play, kind of thing. And the problem is when you're trying to control all of the cameras and control and play the game and try and be mildly entertaining as I try to be, I think there's something gets lost in that a little bit at times. Otherwise, you just need loads of cameras set up all over the place. Where are we up to? Super Pumpkin Man says Finecast wasn't evil; it was simply poor quality. Yeah, it was pretty garbage, mate. To be fair, yeah. Peter Cummins says no, wasn't even Finecast was not for beginners modelling wise. It was basically to replace metal. That's what it was. It was just that it wasn't right when it first came out. Super Pumpkin Man says if you plan making battle reports, I feel like you need to have a room set up only just for filming more than anything else. Yeah, I agree, mate. That's kind of exactly that's exactly what I'm saying. Really, is I don't really have the space. It needs to be a dedicated space for it. And whilst I would love to get to that point in the future, I'm not big enough to be having a dedicated space for it. Otherwise, I'll just be constantly taking things apart and moving things around the house. So, right, I'm looking for this weapon now. Where the hell's that? I can't even see the weapon on here. Like a long spear or something. Well, it's not a spear. It's a sword. It's just at a funny angle in the picture. Good evening, Marco. How are you doing, mate? He says Infinity N4's coming up soon. Are you planning anything about that? I'm not sure, mate. I'm not planning on buying the rules. They will be free online. I might do something just to kind of compare them with Code 1, but to be honest, mate, it depends. It really does depend. I never really intended to get into N4. Code 1 was always the kind of the level that I wanted to play at. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's all the bits, I think. Those ones cleaned up. Lord Maiden saying you're forgetting Red Rose Wargaming do battery videos. You could play with them. Oh yeah, that's what you said, mate. Yeah, no, I wasn't forgetting it, mate. Like I said, they're miles away. they're over in the northwest of the UK. I'm in the northeast. It's like a 3-hour drive away, something like that. And actually, at the minute, since I started doing this full time, and I obviously didn't, I'm not doing my old job. We only have one car now as well between me and my wife, so it's not like I can just disappear for the day with the car. So I think at some point when things get better and stuff. I mean, the area where Anna is at the minute for Red Rose Wargaming, they've just gone into lockdown again as well. So travelling there is not something we'll be doing anytime soon. But I will go and see them at some point. But again, it might be for filming, but it's more than likely just to kind of hang out and just play some games together. It'd be nice just to catch up again. I did meet up with them at GW last year, which was the first time I'd met them sort of face to face. And they're great folks. I loved spending some time with them. So yeah, we'll get there somehow. Lee Russ, better late than never. I was listening to your podcast again last night, mate. Really enjoyed that, the latest episode. Tony says, I much prefer an explained playthrough, even for systems I already know. Yeah, I don't want to try and sound like I'm kind of blowing my own trumpet or anything like that, but I think one of the strengths I have is that I can explain things so that people can understand them. I've been told that like numerous times in my day job and like my old day job anyway, and things. So I know that's something I'm decent at, if you like. So that any playthrough stuff is going to be more about explaining exactly how things work, how rules work, how the game plays, the turn structure, that kind of stuff. But then that all takes time. It's much more kind of not necessarily scripted, because the game's not scripted, but you need to know all the main points that you need to hit. Scott says, I need some help. What colour should I paint the armour plating on my Necrons? What you're considering, Scott? Have you got a couple of options? Is there something that you definitely don't want to do? Peter says, nothing inside the saloon, but it comes with beer bottles and double beds. I don't have the saloon, mate, yet. Are you talking about the War Cradle one, or are you talking about the TT Combat one? Because now I'll not be playing inside the buildings, mate. I wouldn't worry about that stuff. Lord Maiden says, you can have a pay rise when you say how many hours you do. You're scheduled for 37. Oh, well, that's all right, mate. I'm due a break in that case. I'm probably doing, on average, about... well, let's just say today I'll do 12... off here, off 9, off 10... I'll do about 15 hours today, mate. So... yeah, so I think I'm all right on my hours scheduled. This is the bit that nobody really sees, and it's hard to explain when you like. Obviously, I massively appreciate everybody's support and stuff, but I kind of feel like I'm letting people down a little bit because I'm not making as many videos as I planned at the minute, and it's purely because it's all background work. That's the bit that nobody's getting to see. It's all of the work I need to do to get to a point where I can then do that stuff. In the past, I used to do a lot of videos which were just kind of like sit and talk and stuff, and they were a bit quicker to do because I'm not having to build anything, I'm not having to paint anything. I essentially have to come up with an idea. But what tends to happen is now those kind of sort of talking head videos, they're very quickly becoming Monday night live stream stuff, and the more time I spend sort of sitting chatting to you lot on a Wednesday and things, like a lot of those topics just get chatted about basically. So the main videos are ending up being sort of reviews, gameplay type stuff, painting stuff, and unfortunately it's taking up a lot of background time. But I'll get caught up, folks. It's a whole new world to me at the minute doing this full time and trying to find that balance. So I'll get there, folks. I'll get there. But the main thing is, I am massively enjoying it. It was definitely the right decision to progress with this. So yeah, I couldn't be happier from that perspective. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, really. That's the problem. I want everything to be right, and instead of just getting it done and getting it out there, like some ideas, I've filmed stuff and then not released it because I didn't think it was good enough. So maybe that's just something I need to get used to. Just do it and move on. What I don't want to do is release stuff I'm not 100% happy with. You want to do white, mate, or you don't want to do white? David says gold's always great with black and red. It is, mate. Yeah. Or agree. I don't know what that is, mate. Krabby says I'm home early Sunday and off Monday if you want to run through of a game of Indomitus stuff. The problem is, mate, with Mondays is I spend Mondays getting ready for the live streams, and on Sunday my wife's out with her mates, so I've got the little one all day. So unfortunately, mate, I ain't free that time, but we'll have to get a game in soon. So what this is Wild West Exodus a beginner-friendly game, or is it more crunchy like Infinity? I would say it's relatively beginner-friendly, mate. It's not too difficult a game to understand. I will be doing some gameplay stuff, like kind of like a how to play thing soon. I think when I did the Monday night live stream about it, and I explained how to build kind of war bands and stuff, I think some people kind of got a little bit confused by it and thought it was harder than it is, but it's actually really straightforward. You basically kind of unlock options as you go, and the rules themselves are pretty straightforward. So let's get that little one here. These smaller models, do remind me of Malifaux, kind of sort of slightly more fiddly bits and pieces. But they're worth it when they're done. Dirk says, I'm so happy our gaming club announced today we'll have gaming day this month, first after half a year. Yeah, great, mate. Great news. I think I mentioned on Monday that my local club, the one I used to go to when I could, is at a church hall, and the church hasn't reopened its kind of like community stuff yet. So that's that group's not up and running yet. I love the way these models fit together. Right, what's next? Where does this bit go? So what's your first game going to be, Dirk? What are you going to play, mate? Tim says stream is awful for me tonight. Stop starts. Sure, it's not Andy, but something my end. Other YouTube content playing fine. Tried Netflix too. That's okay. Mine seems to be going all right, mate. It seems all right at this end. Because it tells me like the stream quality and stuff like that. Stream health says it's been excellent for the full time while I've been streaming. So hopefully it's okay for everybody else as well. Lee says, hope everyone's doing fine. BlackJack Marine is free-handed in the chapter symbol. Yes, mate, get the freehand done. That's the way. Where are we up to? Jason says, I want to build a unique-looking army. Did it for fun, believe it or not. Peter saying, bronze for the Necrons. Dirk says, I have those problems too, and the resolution goes to 144. The stream starts buffering. Random. It seems fine for mine at the minute. Like, I don't know. Or is it fine? He says, oh yeah, it seems to be working. Doesn't appear to be any... Seems to be okay anyway. We'll see what happens. Peter says, fitting... We're talking about kid bashing. I'm just rebasing some Chaos Chosen Marines made with Chaos Warrior bodies. And Chaos Marine arms and a possessed limb as a power fist. Wow, mate. Adam says, Tim, remember that time I couldn't get live chat on my iPhone or iPad? Weird. Hello, Adam. I don't think I saw you sneak in. Mate, I saw there. Morning, I think your mate is back that logs in just to give you a thumbs down every stream. I've noticed every video since the hate stream. Yeah, I'm alright with that, mate. If somebody doesn't like my stuff, they don't like my stuff, mate. I've got a good idea who it is, let's just say. But I'm not worried about it. Right, how does this one fit onto here? I'm assuming that must go under there. Yeah, that seems to be the way. Barry's I keep having the same issue watching an iPhone. Never had an issue before either. It's weird that, mate. It's definitely saying that it's been an excellent connection at this end. I wonder if it's just YouTube playing up tonight with live streams. Because the difference with watching a normal video is obviously it's got a history to buffer it, where with a live stream it doesn't necessarily have the history to buffer it. Michael says, "Boo! Outlaws should join the Hex." Like those ones, mate. I've actually run out of super glue. That's why I'm building the plastic ones tonight. Otherwise, I would have started with those. I ran out of super glue this afternoon. William says, playthroughs with rules discussions would be incredibly helpful and interesting. 2 Foot Lordies have kind of mastered that. Sold me 2 sets of rules that way. A couple of guys playing a game is okay, but yeah, I'm kind of like, I tend to look for rules or game explanations as opposed to kind of like battle reports, because some battle reports you watch, I mean, it's great if you're into that game and you understand it and you literally want to sit and watch a playthrough. But the problem is some people just whiz through them so fast that there's absolutely no kind of like there's no telling what if you don't know how to play the game, you struggle to kind of keep up with it. And I find 40k stuff, when you're kind of trying to kind of understand battle reports to try and see how the rules work, I find 40k one of the worst games for that, because folks just know that inside out. Right, I've got to try and get this head on now. It's a really strange position, this head. That's it. It's like one of those like weird puzzles when it gets in the right place. Like it's just, you go, that's it. No, that's not it. It's slipping around. She's kind of looking over her shoulder, but it looks a bit weird. Let me have a quick look on the box and see how that one is. Oh no, it's right, she's got a bit of a collar, that's why. I'm thinking that has to be flush. That's better. There we go, and then the sword just goes into the hip there. And there's a little cut out for it. And hello Michael, how are you doing, mate? Adam's saying he's watching on his iPhone and definitely crackly, the sound keeps dropping out. No idea what it is, mate. It all seems alright at this end. There's nothing I can really do to change it, to be fair. A personal hater, yeah. I used to have one a while ago, mate, but I think they just got bored of hating. So I'm fine with it, mate. If I'm not upsetting somebody, I'm not working hard enough. So that's the way I see it. How is it dropping into there? That's good enough for me. That'll do. Lord Maiden says you're about 15 minutes behind the chat. Yeah, that's about right, mate, yeah. Adam saying just shows nothing on screen. Yeah, Peter saying no problems with his. Super Punker Man says he's made a custom Marvel Iron Necron for his friend. Lord Mint is in reference to work anytime after 37 hours. Add it up and take it as flexi. You have permission from me. If you need a hand, I'll help where I can. It's honestly, mate, it's hard because essentially when I'm sitting doing nothing, I feel like I should be doing something. Especially when it's like, it's one of those things where because it's in my own hands, like this is my business now, if you like. I feel like I should be working. I should be putting the effort in. I've got the stuff I can be doing. So it's kind of hard, really. And especially when it's something I enjoy, it's hard to know when to switch off, really. So that's all it is, really. Adam says maybe the dislike was from Tim because his stream's dropping out. No, I'm pretty sure I know who the dislike's from. But yeah, the less said about that, the better. William says, you're not letting anyone down, just keep on. My 2 cents anyway. Thank you, William. I think it's just like, you know, people are supporting me. People are paying money. And I'm always going to be critical of my own work. I'm always going to say all the stuff that I want to do, as opposed to the stuff that I am doing. And I think that's just me. That's my nature, basically. That's all it is. Well, like I say, I'll get used to it. But yeah. But yeah, if that's why I've kind of had a quiet couple of days in the Discord and stuff. Really, I've been trying to crack on here and try and catch up with a bit of stuff, really. So, but I'll get there, folks. I'll get there. Anyway, so are folks starting to get games in again now? Is people starting to manage to play some games again? David says, you're not letting us down. Always good to have background noise. You've not glued yourself to anything yet, which is better than I can do. I would have done, mate, if it wasn't for if it was super glue. That's the difference, mate. Let me scroll up a little bit now and find out where we're up to. Adam says, mate, I love to see more vids, but if you can make a living off 2 live streams a week, then good on you. To be honest, mate, I mean, there's more stuff coming. There's more stuff coming. I don't want to just be like kind of like just a live streamer. Do you know what I mean? Because if that was the case, I do 3 live streams a week. But I don't really think that's what people want. I don't think people just want live streams all the time. Unless you tell me different. Unless you tell me that is what you want. I just thought you'd prefer a bit of variety and a bit of different content. John says, not let it down, enjoy what you're doing. It's given me motivation to get going, a bit more connection with the outside world in this weird time. I'm glad that's the case, mate. I'm glad that's the case. David Delaney says, it has to be pretty ironic playing 40k inside a church. I think a lot of places in kind of meet up in church halls and that, mate. It's because they just have like local like community groups and stuff there. Certainly when the first club I went to was in a church as well. It was in a church hall. So the club I'm talking about now though is actually in a church. So they move the pews and stuff. Christian sharing the Teespring store as well. Thank you very much, my friend. You can get these new designs. Mark says, since coming back to the hobby a few years ago, I've noticed a bit of a spike in interest in retro nostalgic over the past while. It seems more so over lockdown, like old Warhammer Fantasy Battle and Epic, or is it just you? I've not seen it technically made, but if it's one of those things. If you're interested in it, you're probably seeing it. Like Facebook shows you in your feed stuff that you've been looking at it. Like, so if I'm not looking for it, I probably don't see it, or because it's not something that necessarily interests me on the face of it. Maybe I'm just kind of skimming over it. Maybe I'm not even noticing it. So I don't know, mate. I don't know. Maybe other folks might have an opinion on it. I'm not seeing it, but that doesn't mean that it's not happening more than it used to, if you like. Well, one thing, folks, is there's absolutely no mold lines on these models. What I'm trimming off here is literally just where I've cut them off the sprues, which is rather nice. It's a nice change. Just trim the foot. Vormwood, good evening, mate. How are you doing? Andrew Fairbanks says, member berries. Member berries. What's a member berry? Marx has been enjoying playing Epic at 6mm and something stirring in his loins for Fantasy Battle. No, Fantasy Battle is not something that's ever really interested me, mate. If I'm being completely honest, I was scared off that many years ago when I used to see folks at my local club playing it, or when I used to see folks at my club reading a rule book all day. That's all I used to see. I used to see them spend an hour unpacking their bags, putting all of the models onto the table, like individual models into what do you call it, into movement trays, and then I'd pretty much see them just looking at the rule book for the rest of the day. That was my experience of Fantasy Battle as an outsider. So yeah, it was never something that really interested me. Tony saying stream's fine for him. Yeah, I always have one open here just so I can kind of check on it, make sure it's keeping up to date, making sure it's kind of stuff, and it's fine here as well. Martin, he's having issues with his iPad YouTube app too, listening through the browser but can't comment there. Weird, mate. Peter saying his is fine. Lee says, I don't like your channel so much, I subscribe to the Patreon. That's it. No, but you didn't do it to kind of for to watch the channel, mate, did you really? It was just kind of, you had a bit of spare cash lying around and just wanted to get into Discord. That's all it was. For those of you that are Patreons at the moment, like how are you kind of finding the Discord and stuff at the minute? Is it it's getting kind of lively in there now. I like it. Like I've had a couple of days where I've just been knuckling down and getting on with some work really, and just like kind of having a once over, having a quick look in there. But it's really good to see like the amount of sort of activity that's in there. It's a constant stream of people chatting and sharing stuff and having a laugh and getting to know each other as well, which is something that I'm really glad about. Folks seem to be kind of like hitting it off and sort of building friendships and helping each other out, and that's one of the bits of this that I really enjoy, that kind of building of communities and stuff. So yeah, how are folks enjoying it and stuff? Dirk says, will play Freebooter's Fate and Dreadball. Nice, mate. Hasn't played Freebooter's Fate Second Edition, haven't played Dreadball since he got his own copy as well. Nice one. Lord says, could be weather as well, it's not great here. Yeah, it's fine here, mate, to be fair, but who knows. Jim says, how do you paint 6mm? Yeah, I've got no idea, mate. I'm not, my eyes are not built for 6mm either. I'd agree with you on that one. Jez says, evening. His YouTube was a bit wobbly earlier, but it's fine now. I'll tell you what, mate, something must be up then. Folks seem to be having a bit of a struggle with streams at the minute. Super Pumpkin says he's getting a poor connection, but that's on his end as well. Yeah, like I say, it tells me here, my internet is, I've got like 75 meg download and like 20 meg upload or something. So I generally don't get a problem with the streaming itself, and it tells me here what the stream quality's like and stuff, and it's never budged from green. It's been excellent all night, so hopefully that's okay at my end, and it's just playing up elsewhere. Andrew Fairbanks says, did the dislike disappear? Has it gone, folks? It has. It has gone random. Michael says, now my stream just cut off, poor connection. Welcome to the court. James says, good lady needs help with the kids. I've got to go. Catch you later, mate. Thank you very much. I'll very quickly catch up with some of the chat here. Let me just put the lid back on this glue, and I'll have a quick catch up on the chat. Let's go back here. Moxie and found it's given his painting mojo a shot in the arm. Nice one, mate. Andrew Fairbanks is more like trying to be unique. What was that about? Did the dislike disappear? Oh, maybe, mate. Jim Street says, I've been thinking about getting some of the 6mm for Warpath. Interesting. Mark says, much more vehicles and war machines as much as troops. Vaughan says, Wild West Exodus, I still play the first edition. Got the second edition free, but haven't got to play. I've got Outlaws, Lawman, and Enlightened. The miniatures are lovely. Yeah, these are awesome, mate. Mark says, I love the scale playing too. More grand scale manoeuvres. Yeah, it's not really my style. I'm much more into kind of like probably like low model count skirmish type games. Michael says, I run a mix of Hex, generic third man with Carcosa monsters, and then a Zombu snake. Zombu snake's nice, mate. Still needs to finish his 1.5 kilogram heavy flame tank. Yoakum, I think I've just seen pop in there before it jumped off the top of my screen. Where did it go? There it was. Dropping for a few minutes. Has Andy been looking this concentrated all evening? This is when I'm gluing stuff. I was just saying it's more relaxing to paint. William saying yes. Tony said, I love the Wild West Exodus and Lost World Exodus minis. Looking forward to getting stuck into painting some. Nice one. Jason says, Andy's ex. It could well be, mate. Who knows? Michael says, are the Lost Worlds Exodus models a bit bigger? No, mate, they're the same size as World West Exodus because they mix between the two. Tim says, updated iOS on iPad. Rest YouTube doesn't need updating. Still getting booted from the stream. Random, mate. Yeah, the average watch time is down, so I'm assuming there must be a few people keep getting kicked out. Let me have a quick look on here and see if it's is it still working okay on my screen. Yes, it seems to be. Seems to be okay. Vormwood says, being self-critical can be a good thing though. Drives you to better and grow, just as long as it doesn't become detrimental to you or the channel. Yeah, I think that's just me naturally. Me, I always like to try and like push myself and do different things and not get too comfortable doing one thing. That's all. Jacob says, I love the live streams. Thank you very much, mate. Tim says, catch you later. Unfortunately, it's not my night. Sorry, mate. I don't know what's going on there, mate. Simon says, my club's been open for 3 weeks. Managed a 2k points game at Kings of War with his ogres. A Dreadball game with his Macedon. Feels good to roll them dice. Yeah, mate. Adam says, we had a few idiots sneak over the border to Victoria and bring COVID back to the southeast Queensland. Now we're being very wary again. Frustrating because I was just considering playing again. Yeah, I think we're seeing pockets of it in the UK as well, to be fair, but touch wood. It's my local area is pretty good. David says, well, now I'm done with the Crimson Slaughter. Should build the easy to build aggressors. Yes, mate. Andrew Fairbanks says, Pastor was a young guy and I got him more into 40k. We split Dark Imperium and he figured he kind of needed not to take Nurgle. Get them Esches done, mate. Get the Necromunda stuff done. Scott saying, Scream's fine on his end. Andy, I'll continue to support you no matter how many videos you upload. You're a genuine guy just trying to follow his dream. Thank you very, very much, mate. Thank you. Adams, because he's got to jump in the car, head to work. Take care, mate. I will catch you later. Scott said he's had 3 games of 40k. Did you enjoy it, mate? Were they good games? Nostock saying, I'm really glad I joined the Patreon for the Discord. Great fun bunch in there in case anyone's holding back. Thanks, Andy. Thank you, mate, for joining. It really is a good bunch in there, I must admit. Like, that's kind of how I see it. Superpunk Man says his nids are hungry. They've not eaten Marines in months. Nostock says your vision of fantasy battle sounds very similar to what I see people playing 9th Age doing. I mean, I loved the idea of seeing the big battles on the tabletop. Like when I saw all the minis out, I thought, wow, that looks really impressive. But then I never really saw much happening. It was just a constant like flicking between 2 or 3 books, and unfortunately, that was enough to kind of think that it's not for me. Kings of War definitely gives me the feel of those big battles without any of the rules hassles, to be fair. So yeah, I'm happy with kind of Kings of War being that mass battle fantasy game for me. Lord Maiden saying, I agree, I'm glad I've joined too. Daily chats and seeing models is great. You are welcome, folks. I was just going to say VJ is the one you need to thank, and VJ just pops in there. Yeah, VJ was the one that told me to do the Discord stuff. It's not something I even knew about. John says, as a vicar, I couldn't play something like Forces of the Abyss in Kings of War. I think playing in church should help the cause of the righteous. It certainly doesn't give me any sixes, mate, when I play that, that's for sure. Memberberry, Southport episode where the grapes talked about nostalgic topics by saying, oh, member more. I'll remember it before. Now I get it, mate. Now I get it. Simon Davis says, haven't had a game in months. My poor Imperial fists are covered in dust. Yes. And Nostalgic says, we wrote all this before you asked. I'm catching up. That's why I'm rushing through trying to catch up. Lord Maiden says about Discord shortly after 2 people speak about it in the chat. Yeah, I'm just catching up, mate. Simon saying the Patreon's great. Only joined it in the past week and it's very friendly, great atmosphere. Awesome, mate. William said, I don't like Discord because I'm a boomer and I don't like those kids on my lawn. VG saying Discord's great, but I could be a little biased. Yes, I thank you very much, mate. Blizzard saying Discord's good fun. Hard to keep up sometimes, though. Yeah, it can be, but the beauty of it is that you can just kind of dive in. You can just dive in and have a chat. Where did we get to? David Moffat saying 6 mils easy to paint but hard to record painting. David saying Discord's being great. You guys really helped me with my choice paralysis last night, putting together his Bastillodon, sorry. Yes, nice, mate. It looked awesome as well. It was definitely the right choice. Lord Maiden said he doesn't like technology either, and he didn't do Discord, Twitch, or Twitter, but the people in the Discord channel is great, worth the £2 alone. Yeah, I kind of think it's a nice, like at the $2 point, and I appreciate not everybody has kind of spare cash, but I kind of feel the $2 is a kind of is a good entry point. Just to, it helps me out more than you can realize. If I had like 500 people paying $2 a month, I wouldn't be worrying about trying to get more Patreons, if you like. So even $2 really does help me out. And when people see there are a lot of Patreons, it encourages them to be a Patreon as well. So yeah, never feel like you're not kind of never feel, oh well, I'm not spending the $2 because it's hardly worth it kind of thing. I feel it's like a nice little kind of perk to kind of like to get in that Discord chat. And because you have to be a Patreon, it stops it just. I mean, it's in the nicest possible way, but it tends to kind of, we don't get people here who are not really kind of passionate about the hobby. Really, they're not just coming in there to troll really, because they wouldn't pay to troll kind of stuff. So I've said it now though, haven't I? I've got to open my mouth now. Where are we up to? Shadowcat's in. Good evening, mate. How are you doing? Yoakum says the Discord group's great, filled with friendly, fun, and helpful people. Thank you, mate. That's my opinion as well. Super Punk Man says he's had to paint his 15 mil for work. He'd rather get punched. Shadowcat says, any new bands? Adam was looking at the list of stuff. There's a few folks put names of bands in the comments afterwards as well, which is really appreciated. Jacob says all kosher on his end. Scott says his scarabs are done. Roxanne, good evening, mate. He says, like most things, you get what you put in. I'm generally too busy to do much than skim read, but it's always useful knowing it's there. Yeah, it's nice kind of just to be able to just drop a comment in there and stuff, isn't it? When you need a little bit of help with something, there's always somebody kind of. Oh, of course, my glue's stuck up now. There's always somebody around in the Discord. William says on the stream quality, I have a blink out and back on effect going. It's fleeting and not a big deal. It does. It seems to be okay at this end, but we'll stick at it. David's saying 15mm infantry is the easiest to paint out of any skill. I guess that's just because you're not worried about the fine details. I guess is it? You just kind of just whack it on, for want of a better phrase. Right, let's get this all in place. All fingers and thumbs now. That's it. Scott's saying Discord's great fun, well worth the $5 a month, making some good friends. Yeah, and 40k was great. Nice one, mate. William says cranky old guy needs a nap. Take care, all. Thank you very much, mate. Vijay says I want to play Kings of War on Tabletop Simulator before I pull the trigger on buying a real life army, but I can't find anyone to teach me on Tabletop Simulator. I think there's a Tabletop Simulator group, I think, mate. But I think majority of people play on Vassal. I think that's that's where the Kings of War kids hang out, I think, mate. Vassal's a bit more of a basic interface, but it certainly sort of plays the same thing. Sorry, folks. This is like that thing where I sometimes do when I'm painting something finely detailed. Like go silent. It's like turn the radio down when you're reversing. Some of these connection points are a bit fine, shall we say? That's it. Let me just move that a slight touch. There we go. That one's on now. So that's another one done there. We're motoring. Right. John said I've got my first Dead Zone games tomorrow if the weather's good enough. Nice one, mate. What faction are you playing? Starty's Man Cave says, do they make pew pew noises? They definitely do, mate. They do make pew pew noises. Right, these are the Fs. Vijay says, watch Universal Battle. Yeah, sorry, that's the other one as well. Kings of War. People play folk on Universal Battle. It's a bit like Vassal type thing. F. cut these bits out. Blizzard said after 3 years, I think ASBO Brigade, Poxwalkers, are finally done. Nice, mate. How does it feel to have that finished? Scott says, I just want my cup. Yeah, you'll get there, mate. Don't worry about that. War Mini Painting. Hello, mate. It says, hi, mate. Just arrived due to painting whilst listening to the game at Old Trafford. What was the score, mate? Just clip these bits out. Vijay saying it's another tabletop simulator. Yeah, another type of software type thing, mate. Peter says $2 a month to troll you. I may have to ponder for a while. You already paid, mate. You can troll for free now. Scott saying the scarab pictures on the Facebook group. I'll check them out, mate, when we're finished here. Trying to cut the right pieces out for this now. That's the next one. VJ saying Dwarven and Halfling Blood Bowl instructions just came through from GW. I know I'll be building tonight. Nice one. David says I find sticking my tongue out helps when putting them together. Scott said I finally got my hands on Subbuteo. Nice one, mate. And War Mini Painting says it was a tight 2-1 to United. Nice one. Are you a United fan, mate? Right, cutting out. Tell you what, folks, I don't think I'll be doing much building on these live streams in the future. I feel like it takes a lot more concentrating than painting randomly. Mostly second string we're playing. Yeah, at least they snuck a win anyway. How are we doing for time? 10 o'clock. That's not too bad. Probably get these built and then call it a night. I'm on a very early start in the morning. My wife's got a 7:30 meeting tomorrow, so I'm taking the little boy to nursery in the morning, which means I have to be up about 6:30. Because what we normally do is my wife gets up early anyway for work, so she tends to get up and take him to nursery, and then I have a lie in, but I have a lie in at like 8 o'clock or something. That's it, and then I pick him up on an evening. But tomorrow I'm on early duty as well, so I'll not be staying on too late this evening. I think that's all the bits. How many bits does it say there is? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's it. Bliss says it's good to be done with them. Great models, but things just kept taking my attention. Where, yeah, sometimes that's what happens, mate, isn't it? You get sidetracked. You see some new stuff comes out that you want to build instead, and you get distracted. But you've kept at it, mate. That's the main thing. You haven't just put them in a box and ignored them. That's the main thing. Woman is saying since 1972, so a proper lifelong supporter of them, mate. What's it like to support a decent team? I've had no success with my team. I don't even think, other than winning like a championship or something like that. I don't think we've won a cup in my lifetime. We've had a few finals, but yeah. VG's I'm obviously only building half the teams to stay for Blitz Bowl. Yes, mate. How many players do you play in Blitz Bowl? Is it 5 a side, or am I remembering that wrong? John saying I used to play a bit of bass guitar and kept time with my tongue going from side to side. I bet that was fun to watch, mate. I bet you wouldn't have got a lot of groupies doing that, mate. Parzival says night, all time for bed. Good night, Parzival. Thank you very much for coming in, buddy. Where are we up to there? Super Punker Man says I've been making new basing material by crushing lava rock and small pieces of marble with a sledgehammer, and the sand is making it looking good. Nice, mate. Jacob says, what time is it for you? It's 10:10 in the evening, mate. 6 in the head says I just won the FA Cup. You personally, mate, just won it? VJ says, from the clipping noise, that sounds like rather hard, brittle sprue plastic. How are you finding it compared to GW? I actually find it better, if I'm honest. I'm finding that it's got next to no mold lines. It's probably more just to do with the fact that the microphone is only here, so it's probably just close to it, mate. But it's not splitting, it's not snapping or anything like that. Peter Koeman, thank you very much, mate. Keep it up, he says. Thank you, Peter. I certainly will. I certainly will. Let me just get that last bit cleaned up there. V says 6 per side. Yeah. War minis in the last 5 years have been low, but these things happen. Yeah, they kind of go in cycles, don't they, mate? Or they do when you're at the top. And I think it's always like somebody else's turn to kind of give it a go, and then yeah, they catch up. VG says, except the undead team who have 7, as the 2 zombies are useless. Zombies are always useless. It's kind of it's an unwritten rule, isn't it? Peter says, yeah, found out I can donate through PayPal on his phone. Can only do credit card on PC apparently. Is that right? I didn't know that, mate. I didn't even know you could donate through PayPal. So happy days. Right, I'm just sticking this piece in here. Super Punker Man says, my dad used to coach football, now he coaches soccer. It made his sad that I just never cared for any sport but baseball. Once he called the traitor, and we both laughed. I think it's one of those things in the UK. Most people kind of grow up with either like football or rugby or something in the UK, potentially maybe cricket. But where I live in the northeast, it's pretty much just football. Like it's kind of in your blood. Even if you're not a huge supporter of football, it's like everybody's aware of it. There's 2 big clubs in my neck of the woods, which is basically like Sunderland and Newcastle, and there's like sort of really kind of strong local rivalries. Good natured, I would say, good natured in general, but yeah, you just kind of grow up with it, and it's one of those things like. It ends up just becoming the common male discussion. If you don't know, if you're in the northeast and you don't know somebody very well, 9 times out of 10 the discussion will revolve around football. But I'm not a massive fan of football in general. I don't really like watching it on TV. I used to have a season ticket for my local team, but it was more about the social aspect of it really. I tend to watch American football as a sport actually. I just find it more interesting. So, and I'm sure you've all seen the Rams helmet on my shelf, so you'll know what my team is anyway. Steve says, "Yeah, I feel your pain on the footy front. My team never win anything. We don't even have a manager at the moment." I've kind of lost track of our team right now. I kind of in passing, I'll check and see what the results are, but. Yeah, Scott says football's life up here. It certainly is, mate. I don't think it's like that everywhere, but because obviously this is where I live and this is what I know. You take it for granted. Oops. Hang on. John says there's only 2 teams in the northeast: Newcastle and Newcastle United reserves. These days, mate, there's only 1 team in the northeast. Even Middlesbrough's kind of fell away now as well. They were lucky to stay up. Oh, this bit's a bit fiddly now. There we go. These are a bit like if anybody's built the Warcry minis or the new Indomitus ones, that's what these remind me of. Essentially, like they only fit one way, and when they're in the right place, they drop straight in basically. Where are we up to? Warmany Paintings has also been a Dolphins fan since '82. The old Dan Marino days, eh, mate? Where on earth does that foot go? Oh, it goes under there. Try and get that in there now. Videos has been catching up on The Last Dance, the Chicago Bulls. That's an amazing bit of documentary, that, mate. It just shows Michael Jordan's kind of passion and dedication on a different level, that guy. Right, how on earth does that fit into there? I get the impression I should have done this one before. There we go. BJ saying basketball was his jam. Just wish I kept playing. I used to play a little bit. I used to go and watch my local team as well, Newcastle Eagles. Jason said, "Did you ever watch XFL?" I didn't, mate. Actually, I never watched it. Just NFL, mate, was all I ever used to watch, or and still watch, to be fair. Or I will do when the season starts again. Ponzi saying, "Rock just bought XFL." I've got no idea, mate. Andrew Fairbank's college team won the last ever natty. Spent 12 years saying if we had an offence, then rolled a crit success at quarterback. Pretty much proved ourselves correct. You just bought it for 15 million. Wow. Peter Gimmel says, "Where's that foot go?" Red Foreman always says, "Up your ass." It was a bit of a fiddly one, that, mate. Bit of a fiddly one to get in. Something just fell off the sprue there. Let me just grab that. Oh. Good job I did. It was an arm. Steve says, "Last time we were in the top flight, it was the early 80s and only played one FA Cup final in 1910. Lost 1-0 to Man U. God, well, yeah, we've had a bit of a bad run, mate. I'm a Sunderland fan, so I was born in Sunderland, really. So I say a fan, as in it was just it comes with the territory of being born there, really. But yeah, we've not had a lot of luck the last few years. We kind of just fell through the divisions. But that's what happens when you basically you gamble rather than actually managing a football club. You just gamble and hoping things will get better. Superpunk Man says, "Original baseball team, the Tampa Bay Rays, basically fell apart, and I've really not been watching any baseball since 2010. That sounds very close to my heart, mate, with football. Warming says, "Marx Brothers, Duper and Clayton." Wow. Scott saying ice hockey. Do you ever get to watch ice hockey, mate? Do you ever go and watch any of the local teams or anything? G3, let's look for these G parts. Six and a Half says, "Good news, I think. Seem to be doing well." John Estel saying, "The Rocks just bought the XFL. Looked like it was going to work until Corona hit." Yeah, I can imagine, mate. Vijay said, "I don't mind watching the odd game of ice hockey. I don't know the rules well enough." Yeah, I'm kind of... It doesn't really... It's not obvious to me what's going on. Superpunk Man says, "I see Darth Vader is staring at your work." Yes, mate. Just kind of keeping an eye on me. Can you smell what the Rock is cooking? Definitely. Peter says he used to follow the Yankees, still got a jersey straight from NU. And Scott says he used to watch Newcastle, used to play under 16s for Crowtree. Wow, mate. There you go. A mate of mine used to play basketball for Sunderland when it was the Sunderland Saints, I think it was back then, before the Newcastle bought them and they became the Eagles. And we often used to go for a beer, and I mean, he was like 6'4" anyway. And all of his mates were like 7 foot tall and stuff. I appreciate what it must feel like to be a very, very small person, because that was a weird feeling, like just being surrounded by people that were like over a foot taller than you. David says, "The Rock used to play football in his home city." Did he really, mate? There you go. I remember seeing the pictures of him being a player. definitely built to look built for the part anyway. Isn't he? Jacob says, I like the violence in ice hockey, but I have trouble following the puck. I don't watch it often. Vijay says, I've got a vintage Devils jersey that was signed by Kevin Smith when he was in the US. Nice, mate. Anyone tried the Fast Floor Warlords of Erewhon by Alessio? I haven't, mate, actually. No, it felt like it kind of it came and it stopped getting talked about just as quickly as it arrived. Steve says, you've got choices in Bristol. You're a Gashead, the Rovers, or a Ciderhead City. Super Pumpkin Man says, I live in a desert. What's this ice you speak of? It's over 100 degrees there. Wow, mate. I was just chatting to a guy from Australia yesterday, it was, and he was saying it was cold. He'd put the heating on, and it was 19 degrees C, and it was like it's 12 here, and I'm not even considering putting the heating on. Just shows what you get used to, doesn't it? Peter saying, isn't Warlords of Erewhon by Rick Priestley? I've got no idea, mate. If I'm honest, I can't remember who wrote it. Right, we'll get these little bits cleaned up. Got 2 models. Now you know, folks, why I don't like building models, because it takes me ages. Simon says, just finished cutting, sticking and spraying the last 6 of 40 Vikings, enough for a couple of units. Looking to play a War and Conquest. That's not a game I've heard of, mate, actually. I think I was just about to shave something off that was meant to stick. Simon says, anyone played Beyond Gates of Antares? I fancy the minis, but it's hard to find content on it. Essentially, mate, it's pretty much bolt action in space. So if you like bolt action, I think you should like that. It's not a game I really hear a lot about, to be fair. I did hear from Warlord that they were going to kind of re-release it, if you like, kind of rebrand it and stuff and tidy it up, but that never seemed to happen. So maybe they changed their mind. I think the problem with sci-fi games is it's like 40k is just so dominant. It needs to do something a bit different to really kind of to grab people. Reggie says, yeah, Aussies have a different scale of hot and cold to you guys. Below 15 is cold. It's got to get over 35 before it's really hot. Yeah, like here in the northeast, the weather's never particularly very good. So if we're hitting kind of mid-20s, we're talking kind of like heat wave here. Like very rarely would ever get above 30, and when it does, it's kind of like unbearable. But cold here is like if it's dropping below 10, I might consider putting a t-shirt under my shirt kind of thing. But yeah, it's not like a day in the high teens, low 20s is kind of about as hot as I enjoy it, really. Anything more than that, I'm not built for that kind of heat. I just get irritable. So I don't know how I'd survive living somewhere like that. But then again, if I was born there, I'm sure you just get used to it. David's saying less than 10 degrees. 10 degrees negative is cold, 25 degrees hot. Yeah, I kind of like, we never really get down to kind of those kind of levels cold wise. But yeah, heat wise, we're lucky if it hits. I mean, whenever you if you look at the weather reports, tell you what the weather's going to be like, you've essentially got London hot or hotter in the UK, and then it kind of like peters down and kind of we just get whatever. It's like we get whatever sunshine's left. That feels what it's like in the northeast. Palmsy said it was 40 at the weekend. Too much, Jesus, mate. I don't know how you manage it, mate. Honestly, I don't know how you manage it. I wouldn't have the energy to do anything. I'd be the laziest person in the world if I lived somewhere like that. And I would be grumpy all the time. Because I just, even when we go on holiday, like I much prefer the evenings when it cools down. Like I'd much rather do stuff like at night when it cools off, rather than like my wife loves just like sitting by the pool reading a book and stuff, and I just get so restless and irritated. Yeah. So of course for our honeymoon we went to Jamaica, and we went to Las Vegas, and then we went to Jamaica afterwards. So you can see who chose that. Right, get his head stuck on, and then get his ponytail stuck in. Joseph says temperatures in Thailand were like 30 degrees C at all times. Drank my wine on ice. Wow. Super Pokemon said anything below 70 degrees or 20 degrees is cool to me, but I'm really thin and only 125 pounds. Wow, mate. I think last time I was 125 pounds, I was a schoolboy, I think. Right, I think this might be a tweezer's job. I think this one's definitely going to be a tweezer's job. It's a bit fiddly, this one. I'm actually gluing on his ponytail now, folks. I'm not even sure if you can see it on the screen. It's that bloody small. There we go. That's actually a pretty good fit. It's nice the way they've done that. Like a little tab on the back that it fits into. Very nice. Right, last one now. Ponzi said, I didn't manage it, I just laid next to a fan for 2 days. That would be kind of me, mate, I think. I would just, I once went on holiday to Spain, to, oh, what was it called? Somewhere in, I can't even remember where it was now. But the apartment that we got didn't have aircon. And it was just like, what? How's this happened kind of thing. We were there for 2 weeks and it was just unbearable. I certainly wasn't the most popular person on holiday for the amount of grumpiness. But yeah, I just can't stand the heat. I like going somewhere nice and warm. It's nice to get up in the sunshine and you can sit outside and have a beer or have a glass of wine or something like that. But in general, it's just too hot for me. Andrew Fairbanks says, of course I go back and need a light jacket for high 60s, 16 degrees. I tell you what, mate, 16 degrees for me, I'd still have shorts on at 16 degrees. Like that's still kind of summer for me. Peter says, Jamaica has stuff to deal with restlessness, you know. Yeah, it does, mate. It does that. To be honest, mate, I loved the place. I really enjoyed it. But the heat is... the heat took some getting used to. But I think that's one of the reasons I like Vegas. It's like the best bit of the weather. But then I can go and sit in a bar and get out of the sun instead. Right, just clean these bits up. Dirk says, a friend of mine went to Sweden in the winter for some work and posted a picture all dressed up with a woolen cap and mittens and stuff. Same time around, a friend from Sweden posted a picture of himself in the snow wearing shorts while walking his dog. I think that's generally what happens, isn't it? Like it's definitely what you get used to. It's like up here in the northeast, we have this reputation of kind of like never wearing a coat, and like it's a bit of a standing joke basically that like folks in the northeast, like around the time hell freezes over, like people in the northeast think about putting a coat on kind of thing. But it's kind of true. I think you just get used to it. So Like when people come here and they're not from round here, and they go, it's bloody freezing all the time. You kind of get used to it. Like I wear shorts quite a lot. I mean, it's warm in here tonight. I've got the window open here, and like, what does it say? What does it say the temperature is in the area at the minute? It says the temperature in the northeast at the minute is like 18 degrees. So yeah, that's pretty warm for an evening for us. Like my little boy's got a fan on in his room at the minute, just to help him try and get to sleep because it's warm. It just kind of shows you, doesn't it? Like it's definitely just what you become acclimatized to. Super Pumpkin Man says, I just don't put weight on no matter how much I eat or work out. Fiji says, yeah, I'm the opposite. Grew up in the country where it regularly got over 35 but was nice and dry. Humidity drives me balmy. Yeah, it's always the humidity that gets you, isn't it? Scott says, Archer's post in Kenya was ridiculously hot. The third hottest place in the world. Wow. Simon says, Jamaica's beautiful. Dunn's River Falls is incredible. Yeah, we walked up the river falls, mate. It was beautiful. I've got some GoPro footage of me and my wife going up there. And I forget what it's called now. Is it called Jimmy's Cafe? Seems to ring a bell. I think it was called. Is it Jimmy's? Where they do the cliff diving. That was beautiful as well. We went there like on a boat trip on a night time, and sat and had drinks outside, watching the guys doing the diving off the cliffs into the sea and stuff. It was beautiful. Good memories. Right, this one's a fiddly little beggar. There we go. Jess says they'd never even heard of coats. I had to import them from Wales. I forgot you were up here, mate. Yeah. I had to buy a coat last year because we were going to Centre Parks, like in the winter, like and it gets bloody cold, like out in the forest in Cumbria around Christmas time. So I had to buy myself like a winter coat, and I think that's the only time I've ever worn it. It doesn't really get cold enough to wear them. Peter says we're looking at 35 by the weekend in Belgium. Of course, I have late shifts the next 2 days. I think it's meant to be getting out quite warm here as well this week. Tomorrow's meant to be beautiful. So it's one of the joys of working for myself, is that if the weather's gorgeous, I can go and sit and work in the garden. Unless I'm actually filming something, if I'm painting or if I'm reading a rule book or something like that, it's quite nice to be able to sit out in the garden and do it. Nice cool drink. Right, we got this last piece on here. Where is that meant to go? That goes behind her. Now that's a bit of a small contact point. That obviously you can't see off the top of the screen. There we go. Is that meant to connect to something? Let me turn it around and try and have a look at it. Because it feels like that should. Ah, that rests on our shoulder. That's why it's a small contact point. So we'll put a little bit of glue on there as well. There we go. That wasn't. I was thinking that's tiny, that little piece for a hand, but yeah, it rests on the shoulder as well. And then we'll put a tiny little piece on the belt, just to hold that in place as well, because that'll snap off otherwise. And I think, folks, that's Kaylee, or not Kaylee, she's called in this. She called in this Carefree, I think she's called. And we'll put them onto some bases. Andrew says humidity, when you take a shower and you dry off and put your new clean clothes on and they're soaking wet. Yeah, I'm naturally kind of quite hot-blooded anyway. Quite. Well, sweaty's not quite the right word, but like I'm always pretty warm. Right, now I need to understand why I've got these bases. I've got 6 bases. Who's the big ones? Does it tell me? I don't think it tells you the bases. Okay. Yeah, I might have to Google that one then. Let's have a look. Wayward 8 images. Right. Okay, those are the two big bases. So the guy with the big guns and the girl that's kind of like crouching down. Everybody else is on normal bases. Oh yeah, Lord Maiden saying check the cards. I never thought about that, mate. They're over here, aren't they? I will check them actually, just to be on the safe side. You don't get cards with the new ones, to be fair. Yeah, small. He's on a medium, that's right. And then she should be on a medium as well. Yeah, it's like just like I thought. Oops. Right, we'll get these on the bases, and then we'll call that one a night, I think. Debsworth, good evening. Saying better late than never. Nice to see you in. Everyone's screaming, check the cards, check the cards. Kula says, good night everybody, it's getting late here, time for bed, have fun. Thank you very much for coming in, buddy. Nice to see you. Just get these stuff to the bases. Tony says, once walked out of the airport in Houston and my glasses steamed up immediately, 100% humidity. It's a whole bunch of no fun. Yeah, it's that feeling sometimes when you're off on holiday and you get off the plane and like the heat just hits you when you open the plane doors and everybody gets off and the heat just hits you. It is unbelievable sometimes, that. Right, there's one done. Jez says, same with Dave, outside Albergaveni, right in the gateway. Vijay saying, I remember the first time I went to Darwin, I got off the plane directly onto the tarmac and it was like someone threw a warm wet towel on my face. So gross. I've been to St. Lucia and that was a bit like that. Just that feeling of just being drenched as you get off. Chris is saying those bases might be super glue only. Nah, they're plastic, mate, they'll be fine. And if they come off, then they'll get super glued on. I've got no super glue, so I've run out. Vici says, I went out for a gig in club and had the worst skull caving headache ever the next morning due to dehydration. Oh, I can imagine, mate. Yeah, that kind of heat is not fun in the slightest. Buzzer, good evening, mate. This is howdy peeps. How are you doing, Buzzer? Andrew says, I'm 4 hours of absolutely nothing to your east. Very cool. Peter says 9 models to go and everything is flocked in the first colour. Oh my god, mate. Low Maiden says mine were glued with the same glue you have. They'll hold until they fly. That's it, mate. Baz has just finished work. How are you doing, mate? How is work going at the minute? Oops, this one's going to be a funny one because his feet are just the same distance as the ridge. Simon Dave donated through the super chat. Thank you very much, buddy. Hugely appreciated. Thanks for coming in, mate. And we'll see you next week, yeah? BG says someone needs to do a hobby video series on how to use Flock and call it Go Flock yourself. I'm surprised nobody has. Bazza says boring, need a careers change. Wish I could do my commission full time. Yeah, I tell you what, mate. The problem with commission full time is you need to be painting some stuff, or you need to charge some prices, I think. And especially at the minute, I think with the whole coronavirus thing and people being laid off and spending more time at home, I think there's more commission painters at the moment than I've ever seen. I think it's one of those things, unless you work for like a studio or something like that. I can imagine it's hard graft, mate, making that full time. But stick at it, buddy. You never know, do you? So how's that meant to go on there? Because her feet don't touch the ground. I'll have to just do it like that, I think. BG says wife just got home from night shift. Time for dad mode. See you later, fella. Take care. Alright. Something tells me that's going to be a bit of a sticky one. A bit of a sticky one. Right, how are we doing for time and stuff? Oh, we're cricking on for 20 to 11 there. That's not too bad. About right. How long we've been streaming? No idea. Still got 50 people anyway, 52 people. It's alright. As long as somebody's watching, I can keep going for a bit longer. That's that one. And then the last one to stick down. Lord Maiden says just over 2 hours. Yeah. I'll tell you what, mate, time flies. This one's quite a small contact point. It's just kind of two little tiny dainty feet. She looks like she's about a size 4. I don't want to really pin that one. Superpunker Man says to make some extra money, I've been trying to design some custom bases and make models of them to sell at my house, since my normal commissions don't exist right now. Yeah, it must be hard, folks. Like those kind of sort of niche kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Like creative stuff. It's tough, man. Lord Main says it does, but worth it to hear and see you and the community. Lord Main, what was that? Peter says, yeah, keep me sane amidst the little grass. Yeah. Yeah, I love doing this, mate. I don't really go out anywhere. I don't really kind of like, I don't go to the pub. I don't really kind of like socialise much. Not because I'm like, not because I don't. I don't have like a social circle really. So you, it's like hanging out with my mates, coming chatting to you a lot. So let's go in. I'll kind of tidy my bits up here while we're sitting chatting. So, folks, what's your plans for the weekend? Who's up to what? Who's out gaming? Who's got family? What's your plans? Lord Maiden says a time flies thing. Yes, it does, but worth to hear and see you in the community. Yes, mate, it does. Baz is saying it's crazy. Some months I'm telling people I can't fit them in. Some months I've got nothing, and that's the problem, mate, isn't it? It comes that it's so sporadic that it's really difficult. You either have to just tell people like, I can take it on, but it's going to take months if you like. The problem is that everybody wants it for nothing and they want it yesterday, don't they? So, and I think that's a problem as well. Like if you take one commission on, if somebody wants like an army paint or something like that, it can tie you up for a long time, and that's quite difficult because then what you're essentially, or what you're potentially doing, I should say, is you're turning down a lot of people as by taking on one big job, I suppose. I don't really know much about commission painting, if I'm honest, But that's the kind of the way I would think about it, just purely from the kind of like how long it takes to paint, if you like. Right, that's all the crap off my desk. Tony says more work on his warehouse project this weekend. Nice one, mate. Phil says he'll probably have a quiet one doing some painting. I'll be working Saturday. I've got loads to do, so I need to do a bit of catching up. And then I think Saturday night we're going to see my wife's sister and her husband, and go and have a couple of drinks at their home. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a night off. So yeah, tomorrow, what am I doing tomorrow? I've got to finish off filming the War Cradle scenery video. I've got to take the boys back home tomorrow afternoon. They're here at the minute playing their games in the other room at the minute. I've got to take them back home. Then tomorrow night I'm having a game of God Tier with the missus after dinner. So technically I'm having a game with the wife, but it's kind of working. It's research for the review. Yeah, so busy one tomorrow. Simon says he's got a... Oh, sorry, let me scroll back a bit. That's kind of jumped around a bit, that one. Vicious says he's going to be out practicing his drone flying. I saw you've been buying a drone, mate. Have you done much with it yet? Warmany saying carrying on with commission projects over the weekend, full time. Nice one, mate. Steve is saying visiting his eldest daughter in London on Saturday and a game of Kings of War on Sunday. Nice one. What army are you playing, mate, on Sunday then? Jess says he's actually got leather armour work in, so he's fighting that still over the weekend. Got this job done. I can paint minis. Nice one. David's working. Simon says he's got a Kings of War game against Steve. I didn't realise you two played each other, mate. So you're playing Ogres taking on his Kingdom of Men. Nice one. Peter says this weekend's probably the second layer of grass. Wants to get it done. I'm going to leave it for 3 weeks next week. VG says 2 side hustles he's been working on. Nice one, mate. Can't beat a bit of side hustle. Jesse Hamill, good evening, says taking all stuff to the dump and hopefully new barbecue should be in. I think the forecast's pretty good. Well, I've got no idea where you are, mate. Forecast's pretty good here. That doesn't help you if you don't live here. War Mini Painting says, as long as you work to clients' dates, you can shuffle. Yeah. Skirmish Miniature Gaming, good evening. Says just pop on to check the channel and saw you were building some Firefly Bud. Yeah. Too warm for brown coats though. Big up, mate. Have a good weekend. Thank you very much, mate. Nice to see you, Luke. Scott says he's night shift all weekend and painting more Necrons and his Drakari. Bobby says he's building Primaris charity army this weekend. Oh, I saw that, mate, on your Instagram. Please, folks, please go and check out. It is Red Eagle, isn't it? I'm going to get the name now. Get the name wrong now. I'm going to have to have a look on Instagram. What? I tell you what, mate. Just tell me what's the name of your Instagram? Red Eagle's in my head, but I could be completely wrong with that. I've got a terrible, as we found out every week, I've got a terrible memory for names. You'll put, yeah, Red Eagle Studio. That was it. I knew I was close enough for that. Please, folks, go and check out Red Eagle Studio on Instagram. He's got some charity stuff that he's doing. So please go and check it out. Also, just to check out what an amazing painter he is. I'm absolutely blown away by the quality of his stuff. Andrew Fairbanks says probably try and keep the twins from driving them insane. They're about to start crawling. I tell you what, Andrew, my twins are 18 this year, and it doesn't get any easier. Super Pumpkin Man says his vampire box came. He might be working on a medieval town diorama. Nice one. Lord Maiden says he's on holiday from work next week. Oh, enjoy it, mate. Enjoy the time off. Yeah, Steve's saying Samurai Kingdoms of Men. I look forward to seeing some pictures, Steve. Nostock saying building his death guard between fit in a pool. Fit in a pool. That sounds like a 5-minute job, mate. Jess Hunt says nice one, Bobby G. Or Bobby, sorry. And David Delaney says just reopened here in New York. I'm the only employee and they still got me running the busiest store by myself. Wow, mate, that's got to be tough. Got to be tough. Right, folks. Tony says hoping to finish buying out the company that my wife and I were about. Hoping to finish up buying out the company that my wife and I are about to be made redundant from. It's all a bit of a head mash. I tell you what, mate, that must be just mind-blowing. I hope everything works out for the best for both of you, mate. Bobby says the charity details are on the Facebook page, 40 hours of 40k. You can vote on the colours I paint them. Please check that out, folks. 40 hours of 40k. I'll check it out, mate, and I'll share some stuff as well tomorrow. Peter says plans to finish the Blood Angel captain bases on his boroughs and badges. Oh, I say Blood Angels, the BA captain and bases. Blood Angels captain and bases on Brothers and Badgers. Must fix a leaking tap in the bathroom. That's the last on the list. Stotty's got his twin sisters. Late 30s don't change. Yes, mate. Just to say that's amazing, Bobby. Best of luck with it. Yeah, War Mini Painting just followed you at Red Eagle Studio on Insta. Yeah, his stuff's fantastic, and he paints it Ultramarines as well. So yeah, he gets the extra pat on the back for that one. Right, folks, I'm going to call it a night now because I've got to be up about 6 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to go and wind down. I always feel a bit wired after a live stream. I can't just kind of like turn it off and go to bed. I have to just chill for half an hour. So yeah, I'm gonna call on. Thank you very much to Philip Wilkinson, who joined as a member tonight, Peter Koeman for his donation, and Simon Dave as well for his donation. Thank you very much, folks. Please, if anybody's interested in checking out my Patreon, please check out the Patreon link. That'll get you into the Discord as well, where there's about 100 people in the Discord there now, all rabbiting and chatting about different things. It's kind of like a continuation of the chat you have here. Thank you, Christian. You're a legend. And I will see you all next Monday on next Monday's Monday night live stream. What other day would you have a Monday night live stream? Thank you very much. And I will, if I can remember what button I need to press. Where is it? It's that one. See you later, folks. Thanks for watching my video. I hope that you really enjoyed it. And if you did, why not consider clicking on the suggested video below to see more of the work that I've done. If you'd like to support the long-term sustainability of this channel, why not consider checking out my Patreon, where you can pledge and support from as little as $2 a month, and there is lots of different tiers and bonuses which will give you access to a private Discord server. It will give you free t-shirts, free mugs, a podcast every month, and a number of other things, including getting your name at the end of every video, like these awesome folks who already support me now.